Host is the overall seventh studio album by the gothic metal band Paradise Lost. And this is really a record that is just kind of lost in a way, no pun intended on Paradise Lost, but it is just one of those records that you can appreciate for the experimentation that it, handles. But overall, the record is just very muddy, very disorganized, and just too different in a way. I do love that bands try to go away from their signature sound and try something else to, diversify, to give their catalog more color and more variation, diversity. I do love that, but I love it when it's done right. Here, yeah, with Host, still I can appreciate it, but it is just such a mess in my opinion. It doesn't have really good reviews. We have 13 tracks. Do I want to talk about them all? I guess, let's just get it over with, I guess. That is just kind of the feel that I have with this record. Requested by Capitalism Freedom 69, the last record that he did request by the record, by the band. This is kind of the last record of the millennium. So much is lost is the first track, and this just is the perfect title to open this up. Yet so much potential with Icon and Draconian Times, and even with Second One, I believe. I love all of those records, and even the ones before it. I do think that's great, but it is just such a mess right here. The opener is just kind of boring in my opinion. It just doesn't captivate me enough to listen to it enough. It still's alright, I guess. It still is one of the high points from the record, but that's not saying enough. That's not saying much. Nothing Sacred is the second one. Paradise Lost just basically throwing all of the signature sounds out of the roof, and it's just basically showing to you that they have changed. And although I can appreciate it, it is just way too different to really enjoy it. And because of that, it's just kind of one of those tracks that is disjointed. It just doesn't add anything. And it is kind of a mediocre follow up to So Much Is Lost, which wasn't really that good to begin with. In all honesty, is I believe the track that the band is basically saying to you that they want something different. They want to change themselves because they think that they're still evolving, and they kind of are in a way. But it just was perfect with those first six records, five, really. And here, yeah, the band is honest about this track, but it just doesn't deliver. It really doesn't. Then we got Harbour, kind of a better track, I guess, not much, but I do love, that they are trying to make an electronic great record, but it is just so difficult to do something like that. If you come from the gothic scene, it's kind of difficult to perform a electro record, which I did here. I believe the record is electronic rock, dark wave, gothic rock, synth pop. So I do enjoy that, but it just doesn't come together here. Then we have Ordinary Days, and this is just kind of the generic pop song of the record. Just kind of, repetitive lyrics, repetitive everything. Beats, synths, I believe synths are on there as well, synth pop. It is just such a boring track in my opinion. It just doesn't go anywhere. And this is another track that is just disjointed in my opinion. It's Too Late is kind of an interesting centerpiece of the record. Well, it's not a centerpiece, but it's almost. It's Too Late is kind of the band admitting that they have recorded all of this stuff, and then that it's kind of too late to go back. I do like this track, but well, not but, yeah, well, maybe, but fucking hell, yeah. But It's Too Late is just kind of one of those tracks that is good. But this album overall is just very messy and very muddy. To really call it a great work, but it's still one of the highlights. Because of the length, because of the instrumentation, and because of the performances on there. The atmosphere is not bad as well, but it's kind of meh. On It's Too Late is pretty good, but on the entire record it's kind of meh. And then we have Permanent Solution, the centerpiece of the record. This is 3 minutes and 17 seconds, and I actually really enjoy this track. Just really great passages. It is just kind of one of those tracks that is really risky. It is 3 minutes long, it's only 3 minutes and 17 seconds. But it still kind of delivers in a way. Still kind of, having those really poppy and really classic gothic rock styles to the record, so they perfectly implement that on Permanent Solution. And they're basically saying that this is a permanent solution. Maybe we're never going back to our old roots. That is the beauty of Paradise Lost. They don't care about what you think. They care about what they want to do. And although it didn't came together with Host, it's still maybe it's became better on their later records. I can look at Believing Nothing. That is a poppy record as well. No. Alright, they after this they return to their roots in a way, but still. Then we have Behind the Grey. This is just one of those tracks that is just kind of trying to recreate that feeling with second one they had, and it kind of works. But the things that make this that doesn't make it for me is that the production is too muddy, the song is too short in a way. Well, it's not. Well, yeah, it's kind of fitting because the record isn't really that good. So, being short isn't that bad. But Behind the Grey just kind of tries to recreate that feeling that second one and other records that preceded it had, and it just doesn't come together because of the electronic sounds. If you make an electronic record, you probably want to have another a different message. Electronic music is kind of happy sounding, so you want to have more happy feels with that. But Paradise Lost isn't really like that. So having this just is kind of it's kind of a mess. It really is. Speaking of messes, we have Wreck, and Wreck just drags and drags, and it really is a wreck. It really is a wreck of crap in my opinion. This track it's almost the longest, it's the second longest, and it just goes on forever. It doesn't have any interesting elements to it. The electronic sounds are just way too muddy and way too. Yeah, the production on this track is just really muddy and really bad in my opinion. Just really a chore to listen to really. Made the Same. It's just kind of a follow up to that. It is kind of dumb. It's kind of lame in my opinion. It is just kind of generic in a way as well. It is just one of those tracks that is 3.5 minutes long. Paradise Lost probably tried to make a kind of poppy mainstream hit, but it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Then we have Deep, the 11th track, and this track is alright, I guess. With the production once again being way too muddy and way too deep in a way, way too deep in its own arse. But yeah, this track overall has some elements to it that I do enjoy. So this is kind of a 50-50 track for me. It has its moments, but it just kind of falls short in the end. Then we have Year of Summer. And speaking of generic, this is probably the track that takes the cake. Just really boring passages to it, really boring lyrics. They just basically sold out with this track. Yeah, it is just kind of bland. Nothing interesting is happening in the lyric department. The electronic sounds are still present and don't do anything for me. And the rest is just kind of really boring. So I'm just really I'm describing these tracks, just really shortly and to the point, but because it's, that is what this record is. It is really short and to the point. It's 53 minutes long, but it just kind of drags. But all of the tracks don't really speak to me. And then we have Host, the title track, and this kind of, redeems the record. It still was alright. It is, again, the longest track at the ending, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. It's alright, but yeah, just, it is kind of the same track as the first 12. It is just kind of one of those tracks that is exactly the same, but with 1 minute extra. It is the credit song and it's the title track, so it's kind of is better than the first 12 songs, but in the end, it just is all kind of mediocre. So overall, I did really, really well. I was just very mixed about this record. There were some moments that I did enjoy and that the electronic noises did come through to me. But overall, it just was kind of a mess, and Host is just one of those records that is kind of a missed potential, because Paradise Lost could have made a great follow-up to second one, which was a great record in my opinion. But they just threw it all out of the window with this album. Really out of, really. So I'm gonna give this record a 6.5. It is just really generic, really boring. The electronic noises don't add anything to the record, and you can say they sold out, but I wouldn't go that far. I believe I said that, in the review, but whatever. I'm just kind of, drained because of this record, more drained than usual. But I hope you've enjoyed this album review. Have a nice day, of course, and let me know what you want to see in a upcoming video. Album review, reaction video, something like that. Let me know in the comments down below and I will do it. Let me know what you think about Paradise Lost and their Host record. I didn't like it, but maybe you did. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about it, and I will see you in the next video. God bless, stay safe, take care, and peace.